Giving her distance is your superpower. Have you ever felt like the harder you try, the further she drifts away? You text her, call her, show her you care, and somehow it's still never enough. Let me break it to you. Your mistake isn't in trying, it's in trying too much. Today I'm going to show you and explain to you why stepping back could be the most attractive move you'll ever make. Jessica OS here, welcome to the channel. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine this. You meet a woman who blows your mind. She's funny, smart, gorgeous, the kind of woman you don't want to let slip through your fingers. So what do? You basically just go all out. You text her first thing in the morning. You send her memes throughout the day. You ask her how her meeting went, what she had for lunch, if she's free for dinner. At first, she seems into it, responding with emojis and cute texts, but slowly her replies start to fade. The good mornings go unanswered. The memes get a polite LOL. You text her again thinking maybe she's busy, but deep down you know that something is off. Here's what happened. You overwhelmed her with attention, and instead of making her feel special, you actually made her feel smothered. Constant attention, no matter how well-intentioned, often sends the wrong message. It screams, I need you to validate me, or worse, I have nothing else going on in my life except you. Now let's be honest. Would you find that attractive if the roles were reversed? Think about the dynamics of attraction for a moment. Women are naturally drawn to men who have a sense of purpose, independence, and control over their lives. But when you're too available, always texting first, always showing up, always making plans, you unintentionally communicate the opposite. You tell her, you're the only thing I care about. And while that might sound romantic in a Hollywood movie, in real life, it's a turnoff. Here's why. Human nature is wired to value what feels earned and not what's freely given. Think about how you feel when you achieve something after working hard for it. Feels amazing, right? Now imagine someone handing you the same thing on a silver platter. It doesn't quite hit the same, does it? The same principle applies to relationships. If your attention is always readily available, she doesn't have to work for it. And if she doesn't have to work for it, she won't value it. When you give away all your time and energy to someone who hasn't earned it yet, you lose the element of intrigue. The chase ends before it begins, and she starts to feel like there's nothing left to discover about you. No spark, no challenge, no excitement. And that's when the texting back will stop. The dates will stop, and eventually, poof, she's gone. And it's not because you weren't good enough, it's because you gave too much too soon. Now, attraction doesn't work that way. If you want her to value your time, your energy, and presence, you have to make it scarce. That's how you flip the script and make her crave you more. So how do you turn things around? How do you use distance as a tool to reignite her interest and make her want you again? Let's dive into the psychology behind why giving her space works better than any text you can ever send. Now, attraction is like a flame. It needs air to breathe. If you smother it with constant attention, the flame will die. But when you give it just enough space, it grows, intensifies, and starts pulling her towards you. This isn't a theory, it's psychology. Let me explain. Now, first, there's a concept called the scarcity principle. If you watch this channel, you may have heard of it already. It's the basic rule of human psychology. We value things that are rare or hard to get. If you're always available, constantly texting her, answering her calls within seconds, you become predictable. And predictability kills attraction. But when you step back, when you're not always there, you trigger her natural curiosity. Next, let's talk about the Zeigarnik effect, a fancy term for the psychological phenomenon where people remember unfinished or interrupted tasks better than completed ones. Now, when you suddenly pull back or stop doing what she expects, like texting goodnight every day, you leave an unfinished story in her mind. And guess what? She can't stop thinking about you because her brain is trying to close that loop. That's why distance doesn't just make her wonder about you, it makes her obsess over you. Here's another angle. People want what they feel they're about to lose. Think about the last time you lost something valuable, your wallet, your keys, maybe even a relationship. The fear of losing it probably made you appreciate it even more, correct? That same thing happens when you create space in a relationship. When she feels your attention isn't guaranteed, she starts to realize its value. She begins to question, what if I lose him? What if he moves on? And that fear will spark her desire to pull you closer. Let's be clear. Distance isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate her emotions. I want you to reclaim your own space. That's what we're trying to do. When you focus on yourself, you naturally become more attractive. When you live a full, exciting life, she'll want to be part of it. And that's the beauty of distance. It allows her to come to you naturally on her own terms without you having to chase her. Remember, giving her distance isn't about ghosting her or ignoring her texts for days. I want you to strike a balance. It's showing her that while you care, you're not entirely dependent on her for your happiness, that you have your own life, your own priorities, and your sense of self-worth. And when a woman sees that, it's magnetic. Think of yourself as a rare vintage car. If it's parked outside every day, rain or shine, anyone can walk up to it and, of course, it will lose its mystique. But when it's locked away in a garage, only driven on special occasions, people will start to wonder, what's the story behind this car? What makes it so special? Giving her distance works the same way. It lets her see you as someone worth pursuing, someone with layers to uncover. Now that you understand why distance works, let's take it to the next level. How do you master this superpower without pushing her away for good? Let's talk about practical steps to make this strategy work in your favor. So guys, giving her distance isn't about ghosting her or playing hard to get. It's about showing her that you're a man who values himself, someone who doesn't just give his time and energy away to just anybody. Now, mastering this superpower means developing habits that naturally make you more attractive, confident, and intriguing. Let's break it down step by step. The first thing you want to do is to set boundaries. Now, you're setting boundaries both for her and for yourself. Stop replying to every text within seconds. You're not her personal assistant, and she doesn't need to know your every move. If she texts you, take time to respond. Not because you're trying to play games, but because you're genuinely busy living your life. And if she calls last minute wanting to hang out, don't always drop everything to be available. Politely let her know, hey, I'd love to see you, but I've already got plans, so let's try another day. This shows that your time is valuable and that she needs to respect it. Step 2, you want to focus on your own life. It's a game changer. When you step back, you need to fill that space with something meaningful. Women are drawn to men with purpose and passion. What's your thing? It could be hitting the gym, starting a side hustle, picking up a new hobby, or reconnecting with friends. The point is, you need to have a life that excites you. When you're focused on building yourself, your energy changes. You stop being the guy who's waiting around for her to call, and you become the guy who's too busy to notice whether she called or not. And trust me, that energy is magnetic. Step 3, stop over-explaining. Here's the mistake so many guys make. Over-explaining. If you're busy, just say you're busy. You don't need to give her a play-by-play of your schedule or apologize for not being available. Women respect men who are decisive and straightforward. If you're tied up with work or plans, say so confidently and leave it at that. She doesn't need a novel. She needs to see that you're in control of your time. Step 4, give her space to miss you. Now, this is where the magic happens. When you create space, you give her the opportunity to miss you. Let her wonder why you haven't texted her today. Let her think about what you're doing. And when she does reach out, be warm, be genuine, but don't jump at the opportunity to drop everything for her. Respond, engage, and then carry on with your day. This balance between availability and distance will keep her intrigued and keep her wanting more. Step 5, build mystery without games. The key to creating mystery is not playing games. It's about being authentic but selective in how much you share. Like I said, you don't need to tell her every detail of your day. Keep some parts of your life private, especially in the early stages of dating. Let her ask questions. Let her be the one to try to figure out who you are. Mystery isn't about hiding who you are. It's about revealing yourself in layers, letting her discover the depth of your character over time. Now, let me be clear. Giving her distance doesn't mean being cold or being detached. It doesn't mean ignoring her or refusing to show you care. It is about balance. You want her to feel appreciated, but not smothered. You want her to feel valued, but not like she's the only thing in your world. When you strike that balance, you become the man she respects, the man she desires, and the man she can't stop thinking about. So here's my challenge for you. Over the next week, take a step back. Focus on yourself, set boundaries, build that sense of mystery I'm talking about, and let her come to you. And when she does, be the confident, self-assured man that you're meant to be. Now listen carefully, because this part is critical. Giving her distance is a powerful tool, but like any tool, if you misuse it, it can backfire spectacularly. I know some of you might hear this advice and think, well, great, I'll just ignore her text for a couple of days, go completely silent, and she'll come running. But let me tell you right now, That's not how it works. You see, there's a fine line between mystery and neglect. There is a fine line between creating space and coming across as disinterested. Women are drawn to men who are confident, independent, intriguing, not men who play games or act emotionally unavailable. If she reaches out to you and you ignore her for no reason, what you're really communicating is immaturity and not confidence. And trust me, women don't find immaturity attractive. So what you want to do is avoid the cold shoulder trap. Now, one of the biggest mistakes guys make when trying to give the distance is overcorrecting, okay? They go from being overly attentive to completely shutting her out. That kind of 180-degree shift doesn't make her miss you. It makes her question your emotional stability. She'll start to think, is he upset? Is he playing games? Does he even care about me anymore? What's wrong with this guy? And instead of pulling her closer, you'll end up pushing her further away. So guys, what you want to do is to create space, but it has to feel natural and not forced. If she texts you, don't ignore her for hours just to seem busy. Instead, reply when it makes sense for you. But don't drop everything you're doing just to respond immediately. That's all I've been trying to say. If she wants to make plans and you're genuinely busy, let her know politely that you are and suggest another time. Show her you value her, but also make it clear that your time and your energy are precious. Remember, distance is only effective when it's balanced with genuine care and attention. If you give her space but never check in, never show interest, or never make her feel valued, she'll eventually assume that perhaps you've lost interest altogether. It's not about withholding affection. It's about making sure your affection feels earned and not forced. So send her a thoughtful message once in a while. Compliment her in a way that feels meaningful. Let her know that you're thinking about her, but do not go overboard. Now, overplaying the distance card can make you come across as manipulative or emotionally unavailable, neither of which are attractive. Women want to feel secure in a relationship, even when there's space. If she feels like you're pulling away as a form of punishment or control, she'll start to associate you with stress and uncertainty. And once that happens, the attraction fades fast. Now, what you want to do is ask yourself, is this authentic? I mean, there's a good rule of thumb. Before you decide to pull back, ask yourself, am I doing this to improve myself and create a healthy dynamic, or am I doing this to manipulate her into chasing me? If your intentions aren't authentic, she'll pick up on it. Women have a sixth sense for that kind of thing. So remember, giving her distance is a tool, not a weapon. So use it wisely, and you'll not only create a dynamic where she values you more, but you'll also feel more confident in yourself. If you misuse it, you'll risk losing her trust and interest altogether. Mastering this balance is what turns distance from a risky gamble into a superpower. If you want more strategies like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more of my videos, and you won't be disappointed. Plus, like the video to let me know that it was helpful. My name is Jessica. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you soon in the next video.